Hello everyone and welcome to our EdTech Tuesdays. My name is Valentin Guerra alongside with Deborah Pingle, David Villarreal and Maribel Martinez. We're here to support you with any new techs and trends in education. Today we're going to be exploring Curipod. These are interactive slides that will allow you to engage your students even more, and you can upload already created slides in Google or PowerPoint to be able to make them curified, and we can create slides from scratch. Just before we start, let me just do some housekeeping rules. Make sure that you keep your mic muted. Feel free to type questions in the chat section. Myself, Debbie, David, and Maribel will be able to answer those questions as soon as we can. And I might be able to bring it up also live. If you have not registered on the professional development system, please do so. And use session 361343. Debbie has been placing it on the chat, so you are able to just click and register. And like any other sessions that we host, you can check in using code PSJA Tech on the PD system. So what is Curipod? Curipod is a digital platform that transforms any static presentations into interactive slides. It's generated with AI, it's powered with AI, and it will create different types of interactive activity with your students depending on your content. It focuses on sparking curiosity and discussion as well as critical thinking. And a lot of the interactivities are by student vote, and it makes it more engaging for them because they get to vote between all of their other classmates' responses. And it integrates with your students in real time. One of the things that I do have to tell you, these have to be done live as you as a teacher. They're not able to just do them by themselves for the student. So it has to be an engaging live lesson session presentation. So getting started with Curipod, if you do not have an account, the first thing to do is just sign up at curipod.com. It's easy to sign up. You can use your Google account with your PSJA email, and it will automatically create it. Now, there are three types of creation that you can use with Curipod, and these are briefly what we're going to be discussing today. You're going to create an AI presentation from scratch, just aligning it to a topic or making it align to your TEKS. It allows you to customize it to the grade level of the students that you teach. You can also browse customizable lessons that are already created or Curipod lessons. And there are some that are perfect specifically for writing that are focused on a STAR test. They have already some created for ECR and for SER responses, as well as the utilization of the race strategy. Now, one thing to know is that I'll be showing you everything that is free. Some of those already curated custom lessons are for premium users only, but the ones that I will show you will be only the free resources that are available. And lastly is Curify the Slides, which is where you upload your presentations that you already have created, and from there it will grab that information and create some activities that are interactive with your students. So when I say customizable lesson, what is it? So the lessons that are created already by the Curipod team, they're expertly designed and aligned. They allow you for customization with AI, and they're interactively done, so it allows for student collaboration and critical thinking. One of the coolest features that I like is that when your students do some of the map thinking, or if they do the open response, it will allow them to get feedback from an AI bot automatically. One key thing to know is that you can edit the lessons that are already created, or even the ones that you curify to align to the duration and align to whatever you would like to use. So this is a brief overview of the navigation of Curipod. You will have your home area, your lessons that you already created. Reports is not really an area that you're going to be able to use with your free version. And then there's the collections and inspiration. We're going to focus on home and creating the lesson area and the different ways on how to make those lessons that are curified. So a customizable lesson, you will go to home, then it will give you this area where you just create a lesson, and in here you will select either to create with AI or create a blank presentation where you can start doing it on your own. But also it will give you different options to have customizable lessons from either a topic or align it to a specific standard. So this is where you create with AI. You can build literacy skills, which it will be like argumentative writing, 5-minute writing practice, informational or narrative writing. Curify the slides, like I said, you will upload your slides. You select your file, either a PowerPoint, or you will be able to upload from Google Slides, allowing access to your Google Drive. And then you select the appropriate grade level that it will go to. In the third area, you're able to align it to a specific standard that you want. The generate the lesson is generating it from scratch. You just put a topic in here. You can select to align it to any of the RLA, social studies, science, or math standards and select a grade level, and it will do it from scratch for you. And this is the other area that I was talking about, prepare for testing. It will have some lessons created already, and you can select for STAR or even for TELPAS, and it's specific to allow your students to get more practice on these two exams. So to edit, when you're starting the lesson, just go to the edit button. You're able to edit from here. You're able to combine lessons, add videos, change some of the activities, and this will allow you. It's very practical. It is just like if you were using a Google Slides in here and you're able to edit it. So what are some of the screens that you will see in the customizable lesson? You can add a new slide. You can upload your slides in here, edit the activity, add text, media, elements, background, and translate. So let's say that you have already some Curipod slides, or you curify your slides, then you're able to translate it, let's say to Spanish, if you're going to be doing the same content from ELA to SLA. Some of the activities the activities, not some, these are the 6 activity types that are available in Curipod. It's an open-ended question where the students will answer to a prompt, and their response will be put out for a vote for other students to select between 2. The most ones with the vote will get prompted to first, second, and third place. And it's very similar to drawing. Drawing is where the students will answer a prompt by drawing, and then the students will also vote depending on those drawings that they will see. All of this you're able to moderate and see what other students are answering and drawing before you allow them to vote. Now the poll activity is a little bit different. It's voting. The students are able to vote between different areas, and they will answer that question, and then we'll see the responses of the poll. The next one is word cloud, where the students submit words that pertain to the prompt, and after they're submitting words, you can specify how many words they're able to include in the word cloud, and then it starts creating and changing that word cloud at a time on that specific prompt, and it's a lot of fun to see going live. And the last 2 are the ones that with AI feedback. The AI feedback is generated with student responses when they're writing. So the students will receive AI-generated feedback from an open-ended question. And whiteboard is very similar to the drawing, but the AI will generate the feedback based on the drawing that they did. So open-ended question and AI feedback are very similar, just the difference is student vote versus AI-generated feedback. Same thing with drawing and AI whiteboard. It will be by student vote, and then the last one would be feedback given to them of the drawing that they created from with AI. So when you present, you will start and you will see the students. They can either scan the QR code, or you can put the lesson and they will go to Curie.live and put the pin in the lesson. So you can copy this and paste it in Google Classroom so your students can join easier. When you're here, you can freeze the slide that you're in. You can see the number of students are there. You can up or lower the audio. You're able to edit it in here, put full screen. You can request for students to type their names. You can open moderation. This is where you're able to see the student responses before you allow them to vote for each other's responses. And you can move from the slides here also in the navigation. And you will see that some of the activities will provide you the timer that you can change the time live and press play before the activity starts. So now I want us to go live on Curipod, and we're going to create a lesson from scratch. And once you get here, you will just join. Let me log out so you can see how it looks. You will go here to log in, and if you don't have an account, it automatically signs up for free. You will continue with Google. And when it logs in, you're into Curipod. So the first thing to do is you always go here and you get a lesson, or you go here, get a lesson on the top. There are two ways to do it: create a blank presentation or create a lesson from AI. So I'm going to click on get the lesson, and I'm going to focus on generating a lesson, align it to skills with content standards generated with AI. So I'm going to focus on, let's say, science, and I'm going to do other, and I want to teach about erosion and ways the earth changes. So we can go in here and go and select Texas standards. I'm going to go to 5th grade, and I believe there was something about erosion in here. Maybe it's not on 5th, maybe it's on 3rd. Earth. Let me go here to 5th. Yeah, here it is. Modified change on Earth surface. So I'm going to select the skill standards. I'm going to select 5th grade in here and the language, and we go and get the lesson. Those will automatically start generating the lesson entirely with an introduction, and it will give you also objectives and then the activities built within everything that you want to do. So since I'm going to be doing it live, I do want you guys to join so you can see the student view when it's going to be created. So it's loading. Dun, dun, dun. While it's loading, if you have any questions so far about Curipod, go ahead and type it on the chat, and I'm able to respond them because it's taking a little bit of time. Maybe our internet is a little slow, but go ahead. Either you can unmute or type if you have any questions so far. While it's doing it, because it's taking too while, I'm going to go ahead and go to Curipod again. And since I'm there, I have some lessons already created, and I'm going to go ahead and go with explore animal adaptations. Yeah, because this is still loading. So this is a lesson that I had created before, and it gives you exploring animal adaptation structures for survival. It gives you the objective, and then it starts giving you the activities in here. Like I said, you're able to go and edit the slides that is created, take in, out, add, remove, anything that you want. If you see in this bottom area, you can see the ones that are activities because it has a little gray square on the top left corner. So it will tell you in here that this is this will be a poll, and you can change the duration in here if you want. This one is a word cloud that will be created when your students are putting the words in there, and you can select in here the entries per participant. So right now is defaulted at 5, but you can delimit less or even more words in there. Let me see if that one created. Oh, it created already the earth erosion and sculpture. So like I said in the other one, you go here, starts the first slide, it creates images for you already. It pretty much creates a whole presentation. It gives you the objective that the students will be able to model and identify how wind, water, and ice change Earth's surface, resulting in the formation of landforms like deltas, canyons, and sand dunes. The first thing is going to be a question, and like I told you in here, it's an open-ended question. In this one, the students are going to be able to vote for each other responses, and it created 16 questions. Now, Curipod, what I did notice is that it usually tends to create a brain break in between. So if you do not want to use the brain break, let me see if I find it. Like this one, it's a draw one, draw a funny face on a sand dune. This one is a drawing, so the students are going to be voting for it. You can take it out, but I'm going to leave it in for right now. You can do preview if you want to see how it looks for your students, but I'm going to go ahead and start the lesson. And if you have a phone, you can go ahead and start joining, but I'm going to copy and put it on the chat just to click and join. So if you have in there that join code on the chat, go ahead and click it so you can start joining into our lesson. Now, this is the area that would be the navigation guide. You can lower that music or you make it louder. And in here, if you want to see the moderation area, that will be when your students' responses, you're able to see them before you allow them to see it and vote. You click in here and then you click on open. So this area, I'm going to move it to my right side so I can see it myself, but I can show it to you once everyone starts responding. So I have 7 participants. I'm going to go ahead and start. And we start with, hi everyone. Today we're going to be learning about erosion, which is earth sculpture. This image depicts a great example of how different things can change our earth and the surfaces and how it evolves. So after this lesson, you're going to be able to identify and model how wind, water, and ice change the surface of our earth. This changes the landform and creates deltas, canyons, and dunes. So to start with, did you know that the Grand Canyon was formed over 1 million years ago by water erosion? What does this make you think or wonder? So we're going to have about 30 seconds for you to respond, and we're going to start an activity now. So if you're interested to see how it looks for my eyes only, trying to move it. This says for my eyes only. I can see where my students are looking and are starting to type. So like I said, you're able to make sure you're able to see that the responses are appropriate before you're able to share it. So I do have 4 people that presented. I'm going to go to start voting. I'm going to also give you 30 seconds. And then you're going to be able to see side by side 2 examples and vote for your favorite one of those 2. All right, so were the dinosaurs around when it, very interesting. It makes you think if they were dinosaurs when this was happening. It's pretty amazing that water and erosion created the beautiful Grand. It makes me wonder how it looked before all the erosion happened. I really like these answers. Let's go and explore into the next area. So erosion is a natural process where wind, water, and ice wears away rock and soil. Over time, it will allow for the creation of amazing landforms like deltas and canyons and sand dunes. I want you to think, boys and girls, have you experienced any sand dunes or seen any canyons? A good example is wind can blow into the sand dunes and move them, while rivers can carve out the canyons and make them deeper. So how do you think water can change a landscape over time? This will be also another voting question. So because of time, and I only have 11 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and go to the next one and not start the activity. So if you're live with your students, you don't have to start the activity. You can just move to the next one. So the formation of a canyon happens. It happened over 1 million years ago. A river begins flowing over land, slowly eroding soil and rock. Thousands of years later, the river carves a deeper path, forming a valley. Today, the valley has evolved into a canyon, which is a steep three-sided landform. In this activity, in a word or phrase, I want you to describe how a canyon is formed. Now, this will be a word cloud. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds again, and I want you to start creating that word cloud for all of us. Remember, you all have 5 words that you can add to the word cloud. In a word or phrase, describe how a canyon is formed. For us to be able to see the word cloud, I need your responses. Very good. So let's see the word cloud. In a word or phrase, so we see water, water erodes the soil, and I believe we weren't able to see it live because I had the moderation area and I had to allow it to happen. So make sure that you go into the screen where you're able to allow the words to start appearing. So there's some misconception about sand dunes. Some people believe that sand dunes are permanent, but they're constantly changing. Wind moves the grains of sand and they shift the dunes over time. This movement can create new shapes or even new dunes entirely. I want you to draw how wind shapes the sand dunes. Now this is a drawing and it's not an AI whiteboard. So this will be voting as well. So I'm going to give you about 40 seconds in this one. And I want you to know that erosion wears away soil and rock. A dune is a hill of sand formed by wind, and wind is air in motion of force of erosion. So go ahead and start drawing how wind shapes sand dunes. In my teacher view, I can see what students are doing. And if I don't like what some of the things that they're drawing, you can automatically dismiss it so it won't show in the voting part after those 40 seconds. We have about 5 seconds left. And now we're going to go ahead and I'll give you 30 seconds to start voting for your favorite image. I found that this is very interactive and engaging for the students because they're able to see each other responses, they're collaborating, and they're able to agree which of those two that they feel it encompasses more to the topic at hand. There we go. With 6 votes, you are the winner. And then you can hide it if you don't want to show it. So this is the draw a funny face on a sand dune. This will be an activity that is a brain break. Like I said, if you forgot to remove it and you don't want to use it, you can just skip and go to the next slide. Deltas form where rivers meet larger bodies of water, like oceans. As the river slows, it drops sediments, creating new land at the river's mouth. Over time, this deposits build up into a delta. Which process forms the delta? This is a poll. Let's go, and I'll give you 20 seconds. Is it wind erosion, ice melting, or sediment deposition? And the correct one is sediment deposition. So now you're going to show what you know and what you learned. I want you to explain how one type of erosion creates a landform and use examples. This one, it will give you AI feedback. I'm going to give you about a minute and a half, and I'm going to start the activity now. You won't see the feedback until the minute and a half is done, and I give you access to see it. So at this time, you explain how one type of erosion creates a landform. Use examples of the erosion or the landform, and you will get feedback from clear answer, supporting details, and errors. Now remember, this is text, this is a writing tool, so it will give you feedback on your writing. Think about short constructed responses or even extended constructed responses when we're putting our examples and providing details on what you learned to be able to get your conclusion. And if you haven't started type it, type something so you can get that feedback from AI and see how well and accurate the feedback is. All right, so I have 6 people that submitted answers. I'm going to go ahead and generate the feedback. Now I can see on my end what you wrote and the feedback created by AI. And before I give it to the students, you can, if you're doing the monitoring or the moderating, you can read it on this screen before you go ahead and provide feedback to the students. So now the students will get their own feedback, and you can see it here also to share with everyone. The wind blowing can form sand dunes, and then it tells you here by the AI, it tells you that you correctly identifying wind can form sand dunes, which shows you understanding how wind erosion works. To make it better, try adding more details about how wind moves sand to form dunes, and think about what happens over time as wind blows sand around. So look at all this feedback. I feel that it is amazing for the students to get feedback on their writing automatically, and you as a teacher to be able to see it. And lastly, it will be another vote. How well did you understand erosion and its impact on landforms? You can create it, and you can start the activity, reduce the time, and allow your students to go ahead and share. And without further ado, I want to thank you for joining us today for our session on Curipod and a brief introduction to it. But I do, like I said, and I forgot to mention, if you're going to use your own slides and have them curified, let me just show you real quick how to do it. You go to Lesson, you curify my slides, and you select the presentation, and it will automatically create those slides for you. I've done this already. I've used it for my students at the university. I've used it with some slides that have already been created by our curriculum department. But to prepare for the STAR, those teachers that are there and those curriculum writers are able to see it, see me right now. You can get the SER prep. This will be for 3rd to 12th grade, and it's a 30-minute lesson that it's automatically created for you, and it provides AI feedback as well as ECR. So there, if you look at the one that has the crown, this is for plan subscribers. Go for the ones that don't have the crown. So the race feedback is another one that we can use if that's something that your department or your teachers are using to teach the students on how to respond to ECR and SER. And other than that, that's pretty much what I have for you today. Go ahead and follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and go to this survey. We'll share this presentation slides with you. And if there's any questions that you have, feel free to reach out to myself, Debbie, David. Let me see, hold on. Where is my stop sharing? And Maribel, sorry, Maribel. I almost forgotten about you. If you have any questions, we're here to support you. And Debbie, go ahead and take it away with the raffle.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming. That Curipod is an amazing tool, so check it out. And Val did a great overview of that. So I think I have everyone's names here. I'm going to go ahead and do the 3 shuffles, and let's spin and see who our winner is today. Maria, are you still here with us, CJ?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yay, you're our lucky
Yay.
winner today. Thanks for attending.
Thank you.
Again, thank you, everyone. It's super simple to use Curipod. The free version allows you to do everything. Like I said, contact us if you need support. We're your team and we're here to support you. Take care. Have a great afternoon.
Have a good evening, everyone. Thanks for attending.
Thank you. Likewise.
And CJ, we'll get that to you in the next week or two.